morning, Lama Sonam. I don't know if you can hear me just yet.
Yes, I can hear
Oh,
you.
good, wonderful. How are you doing, Padmanam?
Good, thank
And
you.
Priscilla, hello. How are you feeling better, Priscilla? I hope
Yeah, a
so.
little bit better. Still
Good.
recovering.
Are you feeling better? Lama Sonam. So we'll wait just a little bit and then we shall get started. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everyone has had a pleasant morning so far. I cannot help my errant mind and say, being that I see the two takinis right in the front of me, it is not like being on the beach in the Rio de Janeiro or looking at the cross and maybe someplace in Brazil and playing football and lounging about, but we can only fantasize. I remember, obviously living in Guam and being on these pristine beaches with coral reefs and just laying out in the sun. Everybody, it's Guam time. I'm sure there's Portuguese time, Brazil time, not like American time, running around like mad people. But anyway, again, I hope it's been a good morning so far. I actually looked out. Oh, there's snow. And when I see the snow now, I think, oh, I don't have to go out in it. Wonderful. But I hope there's lots of snow in the mountains because we need the water. But anyway, it keeps coming back to my mind, this concept as I was just sitting here, to be a vessel of change, to be messengers of peace, bodhisattvas of peace. And that we don't look for establishing this in outer aspects, but we start at home. Again, going back to Lama Kazi Rinpoche, he sort of laid out a three-pronged approach before he would really take you as a student, and especially doing, it's always been wild times in samsara. But he said, first, get your house in order. So when he said, get your house in order, and, we were a bunch of ruffians from the streets of Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, Staten Island, and who knows where else. First, do you have a job? He would say, do you have a job? And do you have a place to live, or you're just sleeping on someone's couch? That was pretty common. Uh, Being I lived somewhat in Brooklyn, I lived in a village, Greenwich Village. I can actually say I was in Greenwich Village. I was there with the hippies and the poets and the artists and all the other stratas of society, but a very creative environment at that time. We don't have those same creative cells, at least that I'm aware of at this point in time. We're just trying to stay healthy and survive. But he said, get your house in order, job, taking care of your health, and taking care of making sure you have adequate supplies, etc. Then he said the next thing is get your heart, your emotions in order. And at that time, it was pretty much, and we can still see now, that we have a lot of emotional growth with ourselves and with others that we still are trying to come to terms with, is how to grow up. And in fact, I can actually say now, I mean, no offense to anyone, I can say I've heard President Biden and those around him says it is time for us to grow up. It doesn't mean we lose our childlike qualities of inquisitiveness and wonderment and fascination and play and spontaneity and impulsiveness like that of a child. But we don't engage in childish behaviors that harm ourselves and harm others, which we have seen so rampantly. Childish behaviors. And then again, it says if you need to get your relationship in order, and if you want to really test your mettle, so to speak, and those who are in or out of relationships, I'm sure you understand the endeavor of effort that has to be applied in order for it to make some sense. Not that it ever goes smooth. I can hear the line from Shakespeare: "True love never ever did run smooth." He knew what he was talking about. So we learn how to be in relationship, the give and take and the openness. And we are so afraid. I was talking to my, now I can say my student, I have students in Bhutan. It's so funny. But our emotions and developing relationships and having good communication requires a skill which we are losing. We're losing the art of conversation, of collaboration, of just talking to one another, which now I probably talk to more people being in this semi-retreat than I did before, but also trying hopefully to have meaningful conversations. So I hope you have meaningful conversations, but in that you have to have some embellishment. It must be like a fisher person. You have to tell the fish was only this big, but you go, it was so big, it weighed my arms down. By the time I was finished, my biceps was even bigger. And then you go, just kidding. You know you're just funning around. Sometimes we don't even know how to make fun. You can't even make fun anymore. People get so offended. You can't say that to me. Okay, I don't say anything. So get your heart in order, he said. Then we can talk about your spiritual aspirations. And then I'm guys, don't think that your spiritual aspirations and practices are going to take care of the landlord knocking at your door saying, I want the rent, especially in New York City. You can tell them, I'm yogi, I'm practicing, I'm only eating one meal a day, and I practice for all sentient beings, including you, that no one never suffers and everyone is happy. And the landlord says, right, where's my money? Oh, you know these things, right? Now, if you were in India or Nepal or Ladakh or Spiti or any of the Himalayan regions, like even talking to Lama Tenzin, He says, yes, people bring him barley, they bring him tea, little meat, some sugar, etc. But he's living in a culture where they know he is practicing for them because they in turn cannot practice because they're the ones who are tilling the fields, milking the goats and the cows and making the food so they could bring it to him. So there's a reciprocal exchange. In our society, we don't particularly have that type of respect for those who are seeking a spiritual development for the benefit of the whole. But it is changing. And for all of those and all of your kindness and support that you have given to so many practitioners, so many teachers, including myself, we pay homage. I pay homage and say, thank you so much. And I tell my students about you also. In fact, just to digress for a moment, I was talking to Mr. Sakya, and he was Sakya. This Sakya, he has taken me into his family. I'm so blessed. I meet all these people. But anyway, he has factory in Patan and high quality. They may be a little bit more expensive, but I encourage you because we help him. We help his family. We help the people of Patan who create these fantastic works of art. And you just call him and you say you're a Rinpoche student, and then he will talk to you and be so happy to hear from you. Then Anu, we all know Anu. Many of you are wearing clothes from Anu. He also sends his blessing, but they're all struggling and having such a hard time, as we are here too. So if we can be of benefit and help to others in some way by supporting them, that's very good. Also, he told me he wants to be instrumental in helping us create a traditional gampa somewhere in the mountains here. He says, I want to contribute. And the Sakya and the Tamil are very old traditions, very old tribes in Nepal. And they have created many wonderful statues and monuments and stupas. So he says, we want to make something here. So we'll begin to talk about that over the who knows and see if that comes to pass. But going back to Lama Kazi, you can check, do I have my physical apparatus and environment in place? Do I have my inner emotional life in place? And that's a constant work and a constant growth that we have to engage in. Then have I set myself on a sound spiritual path with faith and trust and devotion and conviction and commitment, not for my own self-embarrassment, self-satisfaction, my own ego. But I keep trying to think, I'm doing long ladder satchel, Guru Rinpoche, doing yoga, always do for the practice of others who are suffering more than me. Then I keep thinking about just in our country, it's approaching and probably will approach 500,000 souls, 500,000 consciousness. Fly away. Oh, this is so, it is some sort of, but so sad that perhaps some, for many different reasons, maybe other than COVID, but also attributed to COVID. But how many died alone? No one to hold their hand and say, it's okay, but my dad, I was able to be with my dad as he died. And just to say, be at peace, Dad. Don't fight, okay, right? Just breathe in and recognize the light. And then to see his smile, like I looked at Choginima's, Choling Rinpoche's face. I remember seeing my father's face when he finally just stopped moving about and there was that final moment of just being at peace. And I go, oh, I will remember the lessons from my father. Lessons from my father. So this is how Lama Kazi spoke to us about engaging in real practice like the old yogis. So again, you can ask yourself, again, I know I just sort of launch into my brain is like this is spitting out is, where are you now? As it says, this is the time to be even not become complacent. Wash hands, social distance, wear your mask. Even when your friends say, oh, why don't you come over and visit? You go, why don't you stay down at your house and we can talk on the phone? You want to go for a walk? We'll do a virtual walk. But don't do anything to jeopardize your health at this point. If it's at all possible, with variant strains of this COVID, with the difficulty in distributing the vaccine, and just the wear and tear on our talking about our emotions, our ability to maintain a sense of solitude within, a sense of we have a blessed opportunity to be in retreat. And so some people keep reminding me, oh, it's been almost a year. Without this COVID, we would not be doing this. We would not have had this opportunity to be sort of in this semi-retreative atmosphere for as long as we have. So when we hear about, oh, this person was in retreat for 3 months or 100 days, or this person was in retreat for 25 years in the yogis of Tibet, if you haven't seen. Can you imagine? 25 years. I was thinking last night, maybe stay 3 years, but not possible. You have to come out and go do other things. But who knows? 3 years. So you've had the opportunity now to make a retreat. I hope you've used the time wisely to not just try to race through the Nundra, but you have gone through it and allow it to impact you at the level of your body, your speech, your mind, your emotions, and your spirit. And as a result, even though for most of us, there's been some difficulty and challenges along the way, but we have this indomitable spirit that rises up, that no matter how difficult things may get, I think it's in our DNA of our humanness to lift our head up, to rise up. And all of these words now, these catchphrases are starting to become, even the president is using to rise up. Kamala Harris, the vice president, to rise up. And I think we see where in this period that there is a transition, as we said in the very beginning. It may be slow, but things will change. And no matter how slow it may be, we will never relinquish or relent from being part of that change. So I hope this is how you are strengthening your physical aspect, your emotional aspect, your spiritual aspect, and that you are recognizing the potentiality of the height of the evolution of consciousness. Watching the jellyfish on some program, Attenborough, wonderful voice, his oration, how he speaks, I listen to his voice. But watching jellyfish, and then they were showing the albatross flying in, coming back to find her mate. And then when they meet, they just cross bills back and forth, back and forth. And then in the end, they just lie and head next to each other. And Attenborough says, if this is not example of love, then I don't know what is. So I see many albatross coming back to find their mates. And when you do so, touch bills back and forth, look each other in the eye, and the soft downy furs just caress each other side by side, peace and happiness. What more could you ask for? So this is also part of practice. So have you evolved? And are you evolving? Now, whether you wish to or not, you are. Change is inevitable. And every time I say all phenomena arise from its causes, change is occurring. And we still will have pockets of disturbances and disgruntle and upheaval and protest. This is samsara. That is how it is. But I would like to think there can be a balance. And how might we arrive at this balance? You are. Every time you interact with another human being, every time you with yourself, you can bring about this sense of loving kindness and compassion and joyousness, equanimity. Let your knowledge unfold and access your wisdom. Again, every day, I hope you say, Namo Lama Lakap Sucho, Zenga Lakap Sucho, Jo Lakap Sucho, Gidan Lakap Sucho. I will be a vessel of change, and I will be an instrument of peace, a messenger of peace. Sometimes we say the word bodhisattva, bodhi, enlightened being, sattva, being. I will be an enlightened being of peace. Even if you say not one word, even if you don't leave your cell, you're radiating out. I keep thinking, I want to affect the area so that the squirrels and the deers and the birds all feel at peace. Even when the leaves fall to the ground, they fall in a gentle flowing way all around. And when the birds sing, oh, I make sounds just like them. When the sun is out, I absorb that and watch the clouds as they move by. To be at one, to be at peace in this multiverse, not to create strife, but to bring about a sense of ease for everyone, including oneself. Every day, I hope this is what you strive to do. And when you find your own self lacking and your own challenges arising, you are joyful in your tears and you embrace your loneliness. You embrace the challenges and go, oh, this is so wonderful. You go, why? Because my karma is coming to fruition and I won't have to go through this again because I created as I began. I understand I must pay attention in the four thoughts it says. You must pay attention to the smallness of your actions, that their motivation and their intent is pure and for the benefit of all. Anyway, we can go on and on and on. All these things you know, I'm merely a parrot reciting what you've heard before. So I should try to keep quiet and say at this moment, please take a breath in the hands in the position of tranquility. Rest upon your seat. Allow the light of the lamp of the heart, which is always on. Recognize its inner peace, harmony, perhaps a sense of being at one, that we are not an oddity. That old saying about uh, letting things roll off your shoulders and your back, like water off of that of a duck. All the obscurations, all the hindrances and worries, let them fall away. I know they are your friends. They're always chattering and talking to you in some way. Tell them for a moment, just be quiet. Sit with me. You don't have to worry. We'll pick back up in a while or so. But for now, I'm going to let you go. It's as though when you're sitting, it comes to me, aligning myself with the university, the multiverse, and the cosmos, which we are all part of. I hope maybe last night, or maybe yesterday, from the space in which we exist, we looked into the space in which we exist. In a sense of, as in the Upanishads from Sri Aurobindo, a divine essence and wisdom of knowing arose and one felt not separate, but bound and enclosed and connected. We are not alone, we are collective. We are a collective of consciousness that seek to aspire to the highest potentiality of our potential. The evolution of consciousness is at hand. It is only began. Do not lose or fall away. Continue to walk the essence of the divine highway. Sri Aurobindo says to me, the quality that you so seek, don't look, it is already before thee. Merely rest in your heart, rest in your spirit, in your mind. And in that moment you shall see. What you shall see is that there is nothing to see. And in that moment of nothing to see, you will recognize the emptiness of appearance and the appearance embedded with emptiness. And the two conjoin together beyond conceptuality. And all we need to do is rest free. And breathing out, and from that open space, I hope you had a moment of that grace, that you could live and rest and recognize the intrinsic emptiness and clarity and knowingness. Rinpoche would constantly say, conjoin together or in convergence, convergence, or confluence of how they come together. In one text, it talks about the deity. Your essence and your mind and the deity are one and the same. Rinpoche would say, let the visualization arise from the recognition, from emptiness. All arises from Rigpa. Like a fish, jump out of the water. You know, when you watch the show and you see the fish jump out of the water, just like that. Then sitting last night thinking, first we have to come to what is the visualization and its implication. Then we have to become familiar by associating our eye, our mind, and our heart. The same way you have done with your mother or your father, with your grandmother or your grandfather. And they become, the moment you think of them, like a presence in your mind. Oh, I felt my mother with me, and I saw my grandfather. I did see them, but they were not of the earthly plane. And when I told them this is what I saw, they just saw, stop complaining. You saw nothing, you're just dreaming like a child. And maybe I hope I said, thank you. I hope I never lose that for a long while. Yes, it comes to me. Do not lose your child. We are so afraid to play. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, Doji Simpa arises above your head and sits. Maybe many Doji Simpas, blanking the whole space, making a net around the planet. And the energy is one of purity and one of removing negativities, and obscurations, and hindrances, defilements, negative karmic action, and disease born of the mind. As we do the long recitation, we'll do it 21 times again. Whatever disturbances, the causality of the disturbance, not the symptoms, but we must go to the root. The other day, Lamala came over so graciously to bring some things, and he went to sit down, but there was a little twig, something growing up, and he tried to pull it out. So I watched him, and as he pulled it, the whole rock, the whole ground, and he pulled it, and I thought, it is just like samsara, so deeply rooted. I didn't say to him, I don't think, but he pulled it up, and I said, no, just leave it alone. It'll cut it down. And now every day I sit out and I look at it and I see Lamala pulling at the root, and I go, that is how it must be. If you want to uproot the reed, you must remove it at the root. When the root is gone, then the causality of the symptomatic manifestation cannot be born. So I will take a piece of some scissors at some point, and I will think about Lamala, and I will cut it down. So the next time he comes and sits, he won't have to fuss around. He won't have to pull it and yank it out of the ground, because samsara, that little bit, will be gone. This is how you can think of Dharma every moment. Lama Kazi would say to us like this. So breathe in, breathe out, like the fish, poof, Dorje Simple appears. Now, I want you to, when you're doing the blessings, the Amrita light flowing from Dorje Simpa is dropping down into the 8-petal lotus of the heart. And then the healing, comforting energies of Dorje Simpa are radiating out through all the chakras, through all of the nadis, all of the causality of the disease, flus, coronavirus is being blessed and transformed. Whatever is going on, emotionally, physically, spiritually, being cleansed and purified. And if you don't know by heart the Long Badu Sato, then you can just say Badu Sato Hum, Badu Sato Hum, Badu Sato Hum, Badu Sato Hum, Badu Sato Hum. It's just a short version, same quality. Badu Sato Samaya Mano Palaya Badu Sato Deno Badu Sato Kayam Bebo Sato Kayam. Anaradu Mebo Wazo Waziri Mebri Aduzara Gamazutu Zetum Zitum Guru Ha 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 Bhagavan. Sada Data Gata Badu Mani Muzo Vite Baba Maha Samaya Sato Anumbadu Zatu Samaya Manu Bandaya Badu Samudeno. Dudu Mabua Zudugaya Mabua Zubugaya Mabua Anaradu Mabua Zawaziri Mebri Dudu Me Zetum Zitum Guru Ha Ha Bhagavan. Zava Data Badu Mani Muzo Vite Baba Maha Saduadum Badruzadu Samaya Manovadaya Badruzadu Denova Dedu Mabua Sudukayo Mabua Sudukayo Mabua Anaradu Zawaziri Mibrea Zaraga Mazume Sedum Sidum Guru Bhagavan Sada Dada Gada Badru my name is Ovenziva Mahazama Yosatu Badruzadu Samaya Manovadaya Badruzadu Dedu Mabua Sudukayo Mabua Sudokaya Mabua Andaradu Mabua Zawaziri Mibrea Zaraga Mazume Sedum Sidum Guru Hum Ha 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 Oh Bhagavan Zavada Gada Badru my name is Ovenziva Mahazama Yosatu Badruzadu Zamaya Manovadaya Badruzadu Denova Dedu Mabua Sudukayo Mabua Sudukayo Anaradu Mabua Zawaziri Mibrea Zaraga Mazume Sedum Sidum Guru Hum Ha 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 Oh Bhagavan Sada Dada Gada Badru my name is Ovenziva Mahazama Yosatu Badruzadu Zamaya Manovadaya Badruzadu Dudu Mabua Zudogayo Mabua Zudogayo Mabua Anaradu Mabua Zawaziri Mibrea Zaraga Mazume Sedum Sidum Guru Hum Ha 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 Oh Bhagavan Zavada Gada Badru my name is Zamaya Zadu Badruzadu Zamaya Manovadaya Badruzadu Denova Dedu Mabua Zudogayo Mabua Zudogayo Anaradu Mabua Zawaziri Mibrea Zaraga Mazume Sedum Sidum Guru Hum Ha Ha Oh Zavada Gada Badru my name is Ovenziva Mahazama Yosatu Badruzadu Zamaya Manovadaya Badruzadu Denova Dedu Sudogaya Mabua Zudogaya Mabua Anaradu Mabua Zawaziri Mibrea Zaraga Sidum Sidum Guru Hum Ha 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 Oh Bhagavan Zavada Gada Badru my name is Ovenziva Mahazama Yosatu Zumbadruzadu Zamaya Manovadaya Badruzadu Denova Dedu Mabua Sudogaya Mabua Zudogaya Mabua Anaradu Mabua Zawaziri Mibrea Zaraga Mazume Sidum Sidum Guru Hum Ha 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 Oh Bhagavan Zavada Gada Badru my name is Ovenziva Samaya Zadu Adam Badruzadu Zamaya Manovadaya Badruzadu Denova Dudu Mabua Zudogaya Mabua Zudogaya Mabua Anaradu Mabua Zawaziri Mibrea Zaraga Mazume Sidum Sidum Guru Hum Ha 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 Oh Bhagavan Zavada Gada Badru Bhavama Zamaya Zadu Adam Badruzadu Zamaya Manovadaya Badruzadu Denova Dedu Mabua Zudogaya Mabua Zudogaya Anaradu Mabua Zawaziri Mibrea Zaraga Mazume Sidum Sidum Guru Hum Ha 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 Oh Sada Dada Gada Badru my name is Ovenziva Bhavama Samaya Zadu You visualize once again that you have received the blessings of purity from Doji Senpai, yourself and others. And then we are very easy to say, I am not this, I don't have that, I wish I had, I should have done, why can't I? With such a pantheon of negativity, it's like it's like going out and getting our own switch, if you know what a switch is, and take all the leaves and instead of the auntie beating you, you beat yourself. We know how to beat ourselves incessantly. Put them down. You're all wonderful human beings with aspirations and dreams, seeking with great compassion and loving kindness to be of many benefit as you have been and will continue to be to others in any way you can. Like milk into water, the purity of Doji Simba, like milk poured into the open fluidity of our own enlightened quality, which is inseparable from that of the deity. When the two are conjoined together, who can tell which is which, water or milk? Space between the thumbs, soften the eyes, breathe gently in and out through the mouth, and sit in the unadorned state of purity. Purity of body, purity of breath and speech, purity of mind and heart, and purity of spirit. It's as though one has broken the bonds of separateness, of this false identity of individuality, and merged with the greater space, like a cup of water being poured into the sea. and breathing out as you emerge. It is not in one moment you are pure, in the next moment you are impure. There is no impure or pure in the vastness of space. All is intrinsically empty. Rest. Let that adorn your face. A certain peacefulness and quietude emerges like a light. To be free of worry, to give up the fright that one sleeps peacefully when you lay your head upon the pillow at night. And when others see you, may it be that the light shines forth open and free. It brings comfort to others just by being in your presence, that they find some solace and release from their own inner worry, that you raise them up, each one aspiring to the height of what they could be. Setting your motivation and your intention, your request. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind, so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind, so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind, so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Then visualizing the Zokshin, or visualizing Guru Rinpoche inseparable from one's own teachers above your head. Namo Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo. Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Sangela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo, Lama La Gabzo Jo, Zengela Gabzo Jo, Chola Gabzo Jo, Gerana Gabzo Jo. Then no matter what happens, so people sometimes think, oh, I pray to this deity, I put to this Buddha, I light the candles. Then why doesn't many good things happen? Good things are happening. It's only in our perception, in our interpretation. So when I practice, when I do prostrations, I sit to Guru Rinpoche, good, bad, or indifferent. I have no one else to rely upon but you. Please bless me, support me, guide me, watch over me. So when your difficult times come, this is really good time to practice. When you're sort of like, oh, I don't care, good time to practice. But the best time to practice when everything is wonderful, because then you forget everything. Not because it's the most insidious. Oh, everything is fine. It's not until we get in big, big trouble. Oh, Guru Rinpoche, help me. No, good, bad, or indifferent. So in the same way, we never forsake our damsik, our samya vows. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dormant gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. No, really mean it. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them. Delusions, especially mine, are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless. There are many ways to practice. I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. You are saying you will embody it, therefore you will act and be like Buddha. You don't have to transform into Buddha. Your mind is already Buddha nature, Buddha essence, Buddha knowledge, Buddha wisdom. It's merely awakening to it, what is ever present. So this is what we're saying. Your idea, then you invoke your community. Sangha is community. And these bodhisattvas, they're not something far off in some distant place. They're ever present right at this moment. Jamba Juno Baden Doji Jen Red and One Gumbo Jambe Saying Nimbo Juba Namba Za Namba Nimbo Bajo Gundo Zong Uba Doji Paga Hado Senda Dubo Tawa Nide Nemayi Zazen La Nam Daje Baje Jo Janjo Jamba Kila Zalu Renjen Doji Taje Joyega Dundum Bonzon Namo Numala Nida Danda Banze Babiru Binyod Ganzen Ugulote Renjen Taje Geje Taje Jen Jojo Gawa Gejen Jema Juju Junwo Tembe Pablewe Taji Namo Gila Tazago Zamba Dumbo Dunjo Tembe Bo Mido Donda Gumbo Gunjo Barrier Mundo Loma Medo Dando Tede Juje Kudo Don Doje Dandan Doje Doje Urban Doje Gajoje Jijo Jijo Gide Taje Junden Dowa Gila Tazago Tajon Jinje Jowa Jumbola, Ginde Jowa Jumba Kunjoni, Dondo Blaba Zendo Nije Du, Taji Dele Punzo. So we should still be working on memorizing this next. So even if you, when you go, when we, again, hopefully we will make a pilgrimage. Be great if we make pilgrimage. We go to Bodh Gaya. We've been to Lumbini. We go to Nepal, and maybe we can go to Kushinagara. But wherever you're at, you can always make this prayer. Everything is contained. Jonam Jele Gebe Jo Dejon Jeje Jebe Songola Gombo Ganya Bajejo Jumbo Jegeson. Dowa Dabda Zamba Yisenge Do Dangi Don La Chanjo Nebo Jege Bataba Tade Kabzuji Jirab Nanje Danje Be Zombe Jenje Dondo Da Zange Dondo Negede Zombe Jenja Zungi Do Jeze Nanga Namba Tan Dowa Jeze Nego Ba Jeze Doje Nego Ne Dowa Devya Zewaso. So for those who imagine you're at Buddha Park, Guru Rinpoche, then I think there was Chinrezi, maybe Manjushri, I'm not sure. But you were standing there with all the devotees and all together. Jonam Jele Gele Jon De Jon Je 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 Be Jon Gola Gombo Ganya Ba Jin Jon Jimbo Jie Jon Towa dada zamba ye zenge do dang ye don la jenjo nebo jege ba daba da ne gabzo je jerab nanje danje be zombe jenje dondo da sange dondo nege de zombe jenzo zenge do jeze nanga namba da do wa jeze nego ba deze doje nego ne do wa delga zawa so Chonam jele gele jonje jonje jeje be zongo la gombo kanya ba jenjo jenbo zondo wada da zamba ye zange do dange don la jenjo nebo jege ba da ba da ne gamzoji jerab nanje nanje be zombe jenje dondo da zange dondo nege de zombe jenjo zange do jeze nanga namba dan do wa jeze nego ba jeze doje nego ne do wa derga zawa. All phenomena arise from their causes. Their causes are explained by the Buddha. Cessation of these causes too are taught thus by the great sage. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach, recognize full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain. Until then, may I too remain and dispel the misery, suffering, and the causality of ignorance, desire, attachment, and anger in this world through loving kindness and compassion. Zage donje, zage runjo, zoge mundo, donge donjo ba, zoge numbo, jewa jebego, zage gabo, jula tata lo, tayata, umane, mane, maha mana yesoha. 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 Tayata mamane mane mahamana yezoa. Uzomane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane mahamana yezoa. Uzomane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane 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 yezoa. Zomane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane Zomane mane mahamana yezoa. Zomane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane mahamana yezoa. Zomane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane mahamana yezoa. Zomane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane mahamana yezoa. Zomane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane Umane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane Zomane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane Zomane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane mahamana yezoa. Zomane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane Zomane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane Zomane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane mane mahamana yezoa. Mane Umane mane mahamana yezoa. And once again, we have received the blessings of the Buddha from the four places, ourselves and others. Again, we can think of the opening, the purifying, the cleansing, and the elevation or liberation of the causes at the deepest level. Again, like that root, I'm going to cut. Maybe I try to pull it out, but I thought I would cut it and then I could watch how it grows back to tell me Even though I may remove it at the surface, the seed is still there, and therefore it will never be rooted out. I must go deeper. You must go deeper. Then, now, oh, the white lotus lineage, the secret of the golden flower. The lotus is open in a moon disk of brilliance with a crystalline ah in the middle. It's radiating loving kindness, compassion, giving out your fortune, your merit, your happiness, your blessings in the form of brilliant light, like a sun, like the sun illuminating a solar system, illuminating the stars of the galaxy. Every quarter from where you're sitting, mind is very powerful in its dream state, dreaming, but at least we know the dream that we are creating. Practice Tonglen for the benefit of all sentient beings. Think of someone who is having difficulty right now. Maybe you know someone who has COVID, someone who's having money problems, relationship problems, problems with the children. Then you just send this energy. Have no regard for yourself. When you breathe in, draw in the bluish black smoke representing the impurities. Tonglen begin. Now, in your mind's eye, we visualize that our intention has come to pass. And even if it's only for a brief nanosecond, imagine all sentient beings are free of suffering. And all sentient beings have the experience of inner peace, harmony, and happiness. And at this very moment, they have given up bomb making and killing and hatred and prejudice and free of disease. We can think like this, whether it is so or not, because there's many things that we think of that are not so, and we make come to pass because we have thought them to be that way, to be so. You are the creator of your reality. The Buddha says, as you think, so shall you become. And what you think, you can create. Then as you breathe out again, space between the thumbs, let the eyes rest on the horizontal plane. Breathe gently in and out of the mouth, and like water being poured into water. The essence of the Buddha like water, the essence of your own nature, Buddha nature like water. And the two meet, who can say which is which? Rest in the intrinsic emptiness and clarity in union. And as you breathe out, the awakened state doesn't go away. The aspirations of the Bodhisattva stays and does not fade. And just rest for a moment again, as I have been reflecting. This has been a wonderful time. Up time, down time, roller coaster time, and the Ferris wheel time, many times. I'm sure you've had your amusement park ride also. I hope you don't have to go and buy more tickets, Coney Island. But I was just reflecting on how fortunate we are to have this opportunity and really take full advantage of it. But then I was reminded something that Lamala said. I've been able to meet with so many wonderful teachers. I wish I had gained more of their qualities. Minja Rinpoche, Pacha Rinpoche, Yansei Kinse Rinpoche, Yansei Dujum Rinpoche, Toko Urgan Rinpoche, Namakaze Rinpoche, Joling Rinpoche, Joginima Rinpoche, Kandro Dechen. So many. But then I thought, oh, I somehow was able to have the good karma and blessings to meet some of the most authentic teachers. And reason I say this to you, not because I'm nothing, bug, dummy, running around still trying to figure it out. But you know, when you see these people, you see these teachers, don't look at them as strangers. They are your ancestors. You are directly connected to them. And then, I don't know if you've seen, I think you saw the pictures of Joling Rinpoche. And again, none of us knew this teacher's so, so highly evolved. Look at his face when he's in Tuktan. Then I had spent 2 days with Lama Kazi Rinpoche when he was in Tuktan. Same way, this calmness. But then I saw this from Joling. And I see Joling's picture I'm looking at now, sitting on the floor, just joking around, tea, spinning kapala, eating momos, and him learning iron palm technique. And he was very jovial. He was Guru Rinpoche himself. But I saw this the other night, which I want you to contemplate. He is very direct, very simple. Vajra wisdom. Even though emptiness is hard to grasp, it is also knowing one that frees all. His father would say, Guru Rinpoche is his father. He would say this to us. Knowing the one frees all, and 3 parts into one. Knowing one, meaning once your wisdom door is wide open, you're able to open hundreds of other doors, every single other door. Please pay special attention to this key point of knowing one that liberates everything. So, being in the presence of this master, these are the things I heard. So I feel so fortunate. He's so down to earth, so simple. As I said to you, no pretentiousness, just a simple yogi who was living his life and imparting his wisdom that he in turn had received from his masters. So to contemplate this emptiness, to know one, to open all. Then just a little bit again for today, we have some time. This is from Togo Rinpoche, again, which I can tell you, I heard it directly. You can read in probably, this part is going to probably be in As It Is, Volume 2. So just let the words come in. The 3 types of liberation come about in the moment of recognizing Rigpa. Even though there are different words, like free upon arising and self-free, they are merely different names describing the same thing. In the moment of recognizing the primordially free Rigpa, all are complete, like the one spot in the body where all the different nadis from the different organs meet together in one juncture. Once we recognize or acknowledge the primordially free state of Rigpa, the 3 or 4 different ways of freeing are simply different expressions, like different facial expressions. If you cut off the hand at the wrist, all of the fingers are cut off. You don't need to cut each separate finger. Once Rigpa is recognized, it is the same as cutting off the hand at the wrist. All of the expressions are cut too. It is said that during the meditation state itself, you don't need to make these an object of the intellect because self-awareness is beyond concepts. Otherwise, we will think, what is self-liberation? What is self-free? Randro. What is directly free? Kursadro. What is free from extremes? What is free upon arising? If we actually connect with the primordially free state of Rigpa, all are caught simultaneously because they are simply expressions. People make different expressions and show different moods. They are all contained within one point. There are no different kinds of Rigpa. The crux of the matter is the primordially free Rigpa. Once that is acknowledged, all the others are complete. Once the water pipe up in the mountains is disconnected in one place, there is no water anywhere below. When recognizing Rigpa like primordially free state, everything is free. So simply stated, and again, this requires a lot of unpacking, which we've been trying to do and will continue to do. But that takes us back to Master Choling Rinpoche. Even though emptiness is hard to grasp, there is nothing to grasp. There is no grasper, grasping, or nothing to be grasped. It is also knowing one that frees all. So knowing that, he is telling us, rest in the unfabricated, unadornedness that awakens the knowledge of all knowingness with clarity. Thus, knowing one, knowing the true nature of one's own mind, and the unity of emptiness and clarity conjoined together, meaning once your wisdom door, the wisdom that knows without discriminating, is wide open, then you're able to open 100 doors. When you know this, whatever text you read, it will be as though it is speaking directly to you, and you will understand at a deeper level. Please pay special attention to the key point of knowing one that liberates everything. So this is coming not from someone who read it from the book, who was told by some other teacher. These teachings originate from those who have spent the time in the cave, in the hermitage, in the mountains, in the retreat cells, and who have recognized it deeply into their bones. And as this master demonstrates, as my teacher, all my teachers demonstrate, when they part from this impermanent coil or vessel, they demonstrate in their final way peace and even obtain rainbow body. Like I'll say to you again, I hear Lama Kazi say, now that we have met once again, it is my pleasure. And at your time of departure, would you like to change into rainbow? Would you like to be a rainbow? Think about that. And maybe there will even be a pot of gold that you can distribute to the old. So all you have to do is to recognize this one aspect of unity. Knowingness of the oneness reveals all. But knowing that there is nothing to know, that there is no knowing, no knower, nothing, but it all appears like a dream. Recognize it is not what it seems. Awaken in the moment and recognize. And as Rinpoche says, you will see. In that moment, free. It's funny. Rinpoche would laugh. Why is he laughing? I don't know why I'm laughing. Because it's funny. I hear Rinpoche. Take a breath in. Now, just don't you think, oh, what do I have to do? What can I recognize? What can I see? This is only what Rinpoche was telling you. Thinking. Oh, I have to do this type of practice and that. No, you have to do the practice, but not with a clutch. Don't have your bag fill. Empty your bag. Take a breath in. And just release. And then you might say, it's too simple. I want to make it complicated. There's got to be more for me to do in order for me to see that I don't have to do. Rest. And from that place of rest, again, the Dzogchen appears, Guru Rinpoche, above your head. Udu Gando Mabu Gurgege Zazu Dadrugi Jinji Daji Zazu Su Guru Bema Zidi Umurgen Juji Nansan San Bema Geza Dumbula Yazen Juji Guru Bema June Zazu Udu Gando Mabu Gurgege Zazu Dadrugi Jinji Daji Zazu Su Guru Bema Mao Dojo Togi Gengi Tangam So Tony Dojo Gaga Mebegam Dojo Dojo Dewa Jembo Naga Tendo Doji Torene Nama Joge Gula Zuba de Munien Belma Janela Zuba de General Rumbe Tangam So Conjon Yon Don Yen Dengen Ye Gengen Watch Doji Chegra Neto Zordon Mama Dojo Jogala Zuba de Boring Bema Janela Zuba de Meje Den Bates and Gamso Doji Jumbo Joe Jana Jangala Gamdu and the Dogi the Dama Jota Don Zongi Nama Dube Gola Zuba de Boring Bema Janela Zuba de Gonzo and Dozon get up, Jeda, Bema get up, Nena Juju, Juju, Nando, Hanzo, so Gada Lama, Nama, Zoba, the Zenle, the Bedro de Dorne, Doje, Dorondo, de Doria, Nandro, the Bedozongi, Gode, Gojo, Tobe, Gojenda, Dreame, was Jela Zoa, Message, Jola, Drizzy, Dreame, was Nage, Najoba. Jemmelin Besset Nazua, Dozo, Godian, Bedmaji, Dodo, Buzo, Sanger, and Bed, Gunzon, Sebella, Soba, the woman, Jogi, Pojana, Dozo, Sange, Goje, Gudu, Ransom, Gugu, Don, so I made them last over the Roman Jogi, Yogi, Bodan, Dozo, Sange, Goji, Ransom, Gugu, Sudon, Zoe la mesa la zoa de you are going to yondan lama do me to give a Jordan Sada la joan do ne do ji go bando to so receive the blessing. Uma Om. Subtle body. Breathe out to clear the nadis. So ma I hu ri le le ho na ga ga za 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 na da 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 na da 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 na ba 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 ma ya wa la wa ja ga za ga sha o me da ma hitu bra wa hitu da ga da wa da da kan sa yo ru wa e va me ne ma ha sa ma na so ha ze badra sama ya za Namo Om Ritsa Ramani Bhavadaye Soha Subhadra Samaya Zaza Om Namo Om Badra Hamrita Kundele Hana Hana Om Te. Then you visualize that Tara is mother appearing before your head. So just a moment again. So we do Tara. Tara is said mother of all Buddhists. If we don't have a Tara, we don't have mother, then how can we be born? But so therefore Tara is the manifestation of all of the kayas and wisdoms. Dhammakaya, Mamanakaya, Dhammakaya, Saboakaya, Namanakaya, Sukhatakaya, all kayas in one. She is the mother of knowledge, just like your mother. Older you get, the more wiser my mother becomes. Knowledge and wisdom is the essence of mother. How many times I'm sure you probably said, oh, I wish my mom here. Or I want my mom to hold me, embrace me, right? To make me feel comfortable, give me my blankie. Then when your mother is not there, then you miss her. So Tara is mother that provides, that saves, that protects, that guides, that listens, that supports, and watch over. My initial experience with the Tara, I started 2 early practices, Tara and Chinrezi. Every day I pray Tara, Tara, Tara. Then I had very old Tanka of Tara. And then I wanted to leave New York. I had no money, right? Very difficult time in New York. I knew it was time to get out. So I prayed to Tara, please, Tara, provide the necessary means. Then I needed to have some funds, and someone knew. They said, would you like to sell this Tara? And then I said, don't be attached, because now Tara is bringing you money. She is green, she's bringing you money. And with the help of Tara, I was able to leave New York City and go to Denver. Many years. Thank you to Lama Negotiator. Lama is Dharma Negotiator. I now have my Tara returned to me. So Tara is back. So this is why I always have an affinity to Tara. So now we will do Tara, connect to her like, please, mom, help me. Please, mom, guide me, watch over me, keep me free of this disease and protect me. Then as you say, okay, I'm so sorry I did this, mom, I won't do it again. And she knows, yes, you will, honey. And I'm going to beat you behind and let you remember that you shouldn't have. And she did. So have fun with your practice and think of Tara as your mother, who now you are summoning to become present for the benefit of all sentient beings. Ranje nyinde onle woso tube lama da nezo be tonje zoge gabo lonjo jan. Dutse galyo mezo wa mebe gunam ga yenam ga baza sama za. Sangye to dan zoge to namla jonjo bado da ni gabzoji. Daji zenzo ge bezo namye jo la benje zenge jo bajo. Sangye to dan zoge to namla jonjo bado da ni gabzoji. Daji zenzo ge bezo namye jo la benje zenge jo bajo. Sanye do dan zogi jo nam la junju ba do dani ge zuji. Daji jin zogi be zo nami jo la benze zenge jo ba jo. Sanye do dan zogi jo nam la junju ba do dani ge zuji. Daji jin zogi be zo nami jo la benze zenge jo ba jo. Za hu na ho zoji na ran la denba gu. Right tournament. Om Baja Maha Sri Haragaron, Deni Doji Turva Guru, Om Suharava Suto Sarva Dharma Suave Suto Tumbe Nene Drende Rumboje Nene Se Geje We Naru Doro Tudo Doro Bumba Bunza Zoba Daje Gazo Jembo Gu Oma Om Dume bate sapariro rarba satamaja sata na pa de je ba ja. This is Namo Sabata got the Bayu Mishu Mukube Sabata Nagate Sapa Raminakam Soha. Namo Sabata got the Bayu Mishu Mukube Sabamate Sapa Raminakam Soha. Namo Sabata got the Bayu Mishu Mukube Sabamate Sapa Raminakam Soha. One time. Gata nane la dondu, do tembo la se dala, do da do de da do do, nome pate gade da sa. Then you think, now I want to liberate all negativities and transform them into their opposite aspect. So we say, not to banish, not to harm the obstructors, but to liberate them from their karma of negativity. Om Baja Mahasri Haraka Hon Dine Doji Turwa Good. Ram Yam Ram. Om Sarve Suto Sava Dharame Sobe Suto Hon. Tume Nende Rende Rumbo Je Nini Je Geje We Nondo Dorwa Bumbo Zum. Bunzon Zumba Dajin Gazo Jembogu Oma Hom. Om Ahum Sarabutraga Sarata. Sarabutaraga Saraja. Nom Saba Mingene, Namo Saba Dadaga, the Bayamission, Mukube, Saba Mate Sapa Rana Iram, Grihana Iram Balenda, so Om Saba Mingene, Namo Saba Dadaga, the Bayamission, Mukube, Saba Tata Makete Sapa Rana, Iram Grinakam, Grihana Iram Balenda, so Om Saba Mingene, Namo Saba Dadaga, the Bayamission, Mukube, Saba Sapa Rana, Iram Grinakam, Grihana Iram Balenda, so Jamje Jobadan, Roba Gondan Toba Guji, Donianda, Doriege, Donan Gomba Tuji, Donge Mebe, Dumba, Medewa, Guji, Ndandan, Dewan, and Zipemela, Nabaguji. Senjan Janje Jobadan, Dobagoda, Tobaguji, Donianda, Doriege, Gondan Tobaguji, Donge Mebe, Demba, Meda, Namaguji, Ndandan, Dewan, and Zipemela, Nabaguji. Senjan Tamje Jobadan, Dewa Gondan Tobaguji, Donianda, Doriege, Gondan Tobaguji, Donge Mebe, Demba. Medawa Guji, Ndandan, Dewa, and Zipemela, Nabaguji. Senjan Tamje Jobadan, Dewa Gondan Tobaguji, Donianda, Doriege, Gondan Tobaguji. Donge Mebe, Demba, Medawa Guji, Ndandan, Dewa, and Zipemela, Nabaguji. So you can think you have put a protective net. It says the Vajra net. So you place the Vajra net around you. And we can think now all the, when we say Om Ahum Soha, the 5 celestial Buddhas are protecting us. at this point. Now we make an offering. We do prostrations. We make a confession, and we rejoice. Cloud banks of everything we can offer up, including our own enlightened quality for the benefit of others. Offer everything up. Saje boje jojo mejo drum revelers in it is somebody engaged in the middle way don't answer natural show it on random let it be like when you pick some flower, maybe you're 6, 7 years old, on the way home you get off the bus and you see a flower and you pick and you take the flower. Here, mom, this is for you. Saje boje jojo mejo drum revelers in it is somebody engaged in the middle way don't answer natural show. Idan random mandrulaga nedadaya me saji boji jojo mido drum revelons in the Zambagi. Sing is in the middle of way to Ganzina Jogajo. Idan random mandrulaga nedadaya me. Badu Tata Samaya, Anupalaya, Badu Tata Nenova, this is the Tunova, to the Yanova, to the Yanova, Anaratu and once again, you invoke, you invite. Gadra Samaya Zaza. Go to the homage. Buddha da ye na ne tam ye jun ye na zen tam ye orge doma doma ge se zo Mada manje tumbenge sage bama lado jen bomba kune tojema droma yomna cha ate pru prate saho. Now each one of you, we need many mothers to take care of the many children, like in the Nutcracker, all the children come out from underneath the mother's dress. We need many mothers. You don't need special long. You can self-initiation. Now you are Tara. You all have been mothers in this life, in the past life, and lives to come. You must be the mothers to the sentient beings. So now you are Tara, and in your heart is lotus and the sun and the moon disk, and upon that sits the seed Suru Tam, Tran, and it's golden in color. And then Om Taratu Taraturi Soha is written clockwise, counterclockwise, moving clockwise. And as it moves, the Tram becomes brilliant like a sun, like a star, and the light radiates out in the 10 directions, filling your body, and then out from the pores of the skin, being a benefit to each and every sentient beings. Then many 16 dakas and dakinis come make special offering. Om Badra Argam Bada Upe Dupe Aloke Grande Nuade Shabda Ruta Shabda Gande Raja Sheva Shedamatata Utsa Kaye. Then you say Om Tada tu Tada Tude Soha. Om Tada tu Tada Tude Soha. Om Tada tu Tada Tude Soha. So self-generation, and or you can do frontal generation, meaning Tara is facing you, you are repealing the Tara. But I think now we need many, many mothers. So you are Tara, and you're surrounded by 21 manifestations for all the different phenomena that can create harm for sentient beings, like being trampled by a snake, Well, I should say trampled by an elephant, bitten by a snake, eaten like lion, right? In the middle of a hurricane, typhoon, in the middle of a coronavirus typhoon, right? From a fire, many tatas, every situation, there's tata, just like mother coming to help. Om tara tu turi soha, tara tu turi soha, om tara tu turi soha, om tara tu turi soha. Om tara tu turi soha, tara tu turi soha, tara tu turi soha, tara tu turi soha. Om tara tu turi soha, tara tu turi soha, tara tu turi soha, om tara tu turi soha, om tara tu turi soha. Om tara tu turi soha, om tara tu turi soha, om tara tu turi soha, om tara tu turi soha. Zom dara do dara do ri zom dara do dara do ri zo dara do dara do ri zo dara do dara do ri zo dara do dara do ri zom dara do dara do ri zo 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 zom dara do dara do ri zo 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 dara do dara do ri zo. Zoom dara do dara do ri zo 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 dara do dara do ri zo. Zoom dara do dara do ri zo dara do dara do ri zo dara do dara do ri zo dara do dara do ri zo. Zoom dara do dara do ri zo 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 dara do dara do ri So don't just mumble. You should think how your mother cared for you. Even though We like to say, I have issues with my mama. What issues can you have when she brought you into the world, regardless of what happens? So you should think, I want to have the feeling like my mother had for me. The way the mother of a animal has for their young, tiger, penguin, camel, etc. Baby seals cared for by mother. So you must be like the mother caring for the baby seal of the human beings. Not a thought, but the feeling, the love that mother radiates for her offspring, right? That she gives out. Not that we discount father, but the mother is very special. So dada to dada, in your heart, you must be like a light. You turn the lamp on. You remember your mother. You remember maybe your granny, right? Your auntie. This type of feeling you must give to each and every sentient being, especially the ones you call enemy, especially the ones you are indifferent. Easy to think about the ones you care about. So now keep this focus as you go through. Don't not just mumbling. Oh, the Rinpoche says, dude, no, I must mumble, mumble, mumble. No, intense and sincere desire. How many people suffer? Close to approaching just our country, almost 500,000 people gone, right? Then throughout the world, I don't know, maybe 10 million. All of these people died consciousness. All of the mothers suffered. Daughter, please bring peace, bring happiness, liberate them from the suffering, and bring about joyousness. Dara do dara do rizo ada, with the 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 dara do rizo ada. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, with the 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 dara do rizo ada. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, dara 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 do dara do rizo ada. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada. Dara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, dara 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 do dara do rizo ada. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, dara do 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 dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo ada, dara do dara do rizo. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, dara 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 do dara do rizo ada. Zondara do dara do rizo ada, with the dara do rizo ada, dara do 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 dara do rizo ada. So you remain in the presence or the manifestation of Jetsun Dolma or Tara. And Tara now is my mother. When I remember living in Brooklyn, and my mother always kept the eye on me, rough neighborhood. So I'm playing outside, and then I hear Jerry, and I look up, and my mother, you better come now, boy. So that means I gotta go, leave. So mom is calling the Dhammapala. She called Rahula, Irizate, Dogje Lekpa, Serengma, Lapachen. Please, you come now. You remove all the strife and all the difficulty from all of my children. Watch over and protect them. Keep them from harm's way. So Mother Tara, she calls Dhammapalas, Namo Guru Be, Namo Guru Be, Namo Guru Be. Om Shri Benja Heraga, really, Home Pe. Dene Bajan, Dani Ramyanga, Dobe, Toji, Ye, Gun, Setrodu. Damse Yeje, Yeme, Dutse, Dre, Meze, Namge, Zorge, Gu, you should think now our main protectors. Igesate, Rahula, Doji Lekpa. Please keep your oath. Samaya Satua Badruzata Samaya Manobalaya Badruzatu Deno Meboa Sudogaya Meboa Subogaya Meboa Anaratu Meboa Savazire Mebriatu Saragama Sudume Setum Sinum Guru Aho Bhagavan Saradata Gata Badramane Muzovende Bhavama Samaya Satua Badruzatu Samaya Manobalaya Badruzatu Deno Sududu Meboa Sudogaya Meboa Zubogaya Maboa, Anarado Maboa, Zavaziri Nebriata, Zaragama Zuzume, Zizum Zirum Guru, Bhagavan Zavada, Badru Mane Muzu Samaya Satu. May you all be blessed with long life, free of disease. Whatever you need to be of support to you so you can be of support to others, may it come as you need. Sri 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 Navatanye Donye Dejangun Zoga Begun Dola Jemedu Sadran Wanda Dove Bajesa Bema June Nindo Dowaga Adon Gabo Suda Luade Zoa Debzo Gajan Bajezo Jenje La Jenje Meno Mama Rene Zawari Guru Bama Dojo Guna Anya Ayu Siddhi Sri Mama Rene Zawadaye Guru Bama Dojo Guna Dana Anya Siddhi Sri Mama Rene Zawadaye Guru Bama Dojo Guna Dana Anya Siddhi Sri Zombaduzata Zamaya, Manobalaya, Baduzatu Denova, Dududu Mabua, Dudugaya Mabua, Dudugaya Mabua, Anarado Mabua, Siri Mibi Azuzara, Suzume, Zuzum Guru, Bhagavan, Saradata Gata Badramani, Muzavente Bhavama, Samaya, Satu. If you have a candle, if not, don't worry, you can just hold up your doji. We make offering to all of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, lineage masters, gurus, for the benefit of all sentient beings down to the present day. We make this offering of light so they can see in the darkness as they go about their way. Tonyo dan namba guji mangoni davya gozo somdom guji dombo ni rira byabo srira somdom guji uge zebe zemone mame be nawa yengeji mare be mumba tange geje de la guji umbara alage Jeje kunje tunje dan zeba muna genje nubedu lama yejer garu titra wa jada dana dola jowa sho jola jojen jowa depe du tazo kendo nebe tunje tu Ejojobo tajo jewada, jodan daje bawa se. Zon badu zatu zanaya, manu bagaya, badu zatu denova, mekova, zudugaya, mekova, zudugaya. Anaradu mekova, zova ziri mebeya, zara namazu jame, zetum zirim guru. Sara tata gata badra manu muzo benze bova ma samaya satu se hom ah. Rest in the recognition of the singularity of the one, and thus all falls away. In the posture of comfort and ease, with the palms resting on the knees, the eyes, like Jumkasho, her great master Jetsun Rinpoche, neither look in nor out, but the eyes become soft, and the lamp is on like light. The flower of the heart is open, and the lamp of the heart is open, radiant like light. The window is open or the door is open, and the breeze gently blows back and forth, like in the woods when the wind moves the leaves. Do not attach or reject anything. Merely rest and be at ease. breathing out, come to the gesture of equanimity or the mudra of tranquility. In the awakened, unadorned state, see, hear, smell, taste, feeling, and aware. Consciousness that is known, awareness that recognizes that consciousness that knows. In its evolved state, not relative limited way, but an expansiveness, vast like the universe or the sky itself. Awaken and evolve. Go idea, Jetson Dorma, Dojo Ne, Doma Nyo Nyanyo Ba, Dene Jela Kyo Ba Sho, Ganwe Wonwa, Gumwa Zen Gamzo, Baden Dova, Mando Duba Ne, Zenwe Zenwan Zenson Gamzo, Big Gadzo Bado Tango Chi. Sute Ganje Manye Denzenge Jeje Doje Gonzo Dembada Menyo Jeje Meze Doje Da Ajen Judo Torage Goji Lume Gabne Gadzo Tenjoji Gambo Gojo Malo Nemboje Jebe Meze Gadzo Madene Bajen Judo Zado Dajen Sute Senge Benzege Gudule Nidega Duna Dembaye Demberin Benjen Jubana Zebenda Zenge Zendoye Denjenda Meze Gudu Gadode Donan Genzo Tenle Druguji How den la me gonze dan ba dan ge yem yo wa digi yo wa yi da jung ma don san de dun ne nun du zenge je la jo ba jo den be ba ge la me je ben den de zenge be je den yo la ge den be non dan do dan jo ba ge den ba yo rin na be da shi jo to den je be den ji non jen ba se jo den be nan da je me den jo me da me den ba je den ba je jo do sung gen de jen gu ji jun zo shen jo rin bo je ma ge ba nam ge gu je ge ba nam ba me ba ye kun ne gun du be bo zo Gazo Gaye Donwe Don Dojo, Goyen Dojo, Jimbeshi Dojo, Namjare Baden, Megun Zudun, Dumbaram da Tashi da Lesho, Tayata, Unga de Gade, Beragade, Berazunga de Botisoa, Tayamunga de Gade, Beragade, Berazunga de Botisoa, Tayamunga de Gade, Beragade, Berazunga de Botisoa. Let go of what is past. Let go of what may come. Let go of what is happening now. Don't try to figure anything out. Don't try to make anything happen. Relax right now. Rest. I say this to myself often. Maybe you will too. Go idea if I could intrude just for a few moments more. So Losar is approaching, and the practices in the large monasteries have already been begun. Group chins and group chuds and dances and celebrations and festivals to welcome in the year of the ox, steadfast, grounded, direction, and given purpose can bear the weight of whatever comes. But the work of the ox is needed to till the fields. May this also happen for us. I've mentioned Mr. Sakya, who is of the Sakya clan. We were talking about he is descended from the Sakya clan, as in Sakya Muni. And perhaps if you have disposable income, which who has that, and you want to have a Guru Rinpoche, a Chenrezi, or a Tata, or a Manjushri, he can, whatever you want, he will give you a good price, so to speak, not to make Dharma in business together, but again, it would support many people in Nepal. It would support his shop, which is located in Chinatown in New York City. It would always be the best of quality that you could get. So if you want to get something for the Losar, right, then you can talk to Mr. Saga or Sakya. And Mamala, he has the information, so he can put it out for you if you wish to do that. I've already talked to him. He really he's very happy that we have the Chinrezi. So the Chinrezi was made by hand in Patan and shipped here. So it can go straight from Nepal to your door, to your mailbox. So I just made order and just received it a couple days ago. So he's a very nice man, and he wants to help build a center. So we can talk more about this reciprocal connection that we have with many people around the Buddhist world. Anyway, I hope Mother Tara blesses you today. May there be peace and harmony and happiness and the blessings of infinite possibilities. And that your consciousness wants to just burst out like purple confetti. Purple confetti filling the universe. Anyway, and you have to do at least 3 times. You must find some absurdity. Just fall down, laugh, pee in your pants. Too much practice. Anyway, my time is up, Lama. I have to go, huh? Okay, I feel like I'm just waking up, but I have to say bye-bye. Have a wonderful afternoon. Look at the snow, look at the clouds, enjoy peace and harmony. Bye-bye. Bye, Priscilla. Dugo, Ati Lago, Ati Lago.
Bye, Lama.
Bye-bye. Tashi delay, Lama.
Tashi delay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Bye, brother.
Bye-bye. Bye, Papa.